Okay. We are present and live. You're on camera and on YouTube. All right. Grand Rising, everyone, and welcome to Breakfast with the Thomases on YouTube, stereo, and Clapper. Today, I'm one of your hosts, El Ruby Thomas. Welcome to the Breakfast Table with the Thomases. This is where we talk about it. Myself and Mr. Thomas. Here we are. Say hi, Mr. Thomas. Don't wait. You're muted. Uh-oh. Having issues. One moment. Go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
Grand Rising. Can you guys hear me now? Testing 1, 2. Grand Rising. Welcome to Breakfast with the Thomases. And I am here and I'm in the conversation with you guys. So, Grand Rising to you.
Okay, and then now I'm going to we're going to get started on the video. You got to give me a countdown. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. My eye is really itchy. You got to give me a countdown so we can start the video, and we'll play the video on each side. And that way all groups can hear the video in itself.
Okay, you can play it in about 3 seconds. Started. Am I good on that side? We're ready over here. You can start it in 3, 2, 1.
Has gone mainstream. As of filming today, October 1st, 2025, gold is up 48.5% year to date, almost 50%, banging on the door of $4,000 an ounce. But this is just the beginning. The U.S. currently has the largest gold reserves, assuming they're all there. And if they were to revalue them just to spot price, they would be worth over $1 trillion. But there are no rules here. The U.S. has revalued gold before, and they can set the price at whatever they want. And momentum is building that they are gearing up to do so. Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Kenny with ITM Trading. I promised you that if I saw any new news about a gold revaluation, I would bring it to you straight away. And we have a lot to get into today because this impacts not only gold, but the value of your dollars, as well as the entire monetary system as we know it. Let's get into it. In case you missed it this week, Bloomberg, yes, global legacy media company Bloomberg, reported on an official U.S. gold revaluation, citing the U.S. Treasury's gold reserves have surpassed $1 trillion in value, more than 90 times what's stated on the government's balance sheet. This is because the current U.S. gold reserves are valued at $42.22 an ounce, last set in 1973. So if the U.S. were to revalue gold just to current day spot prices, well, $1 trillion would be added instantly to the balance sheet. But we're going to talk about why the revaluation price could actually be much higher than spot in just a second. But first, I still see so many people in the comments going, gold revaluation, that will never happen here in the United States. But the thing is, it already has. Back in 1933, President Roosevelt confiscated gold bullion. Rare and collectible coins were exempt, which is why it's so important to make sure you work with someone you trust when you purchase your gold, that you understand the different types. But what he did was, once he had all the gold, well, he turned around and revalued it from $20.67 an ounce to $35 an ounce. Well, what did that mean? It meant that the United States came out on top. They were rich as could be. But all the American citizens, those who held their wealth in dollars, in paper promises, in the fiat currency that was never theirs to begin with, right? It's all smoke and mirrors. They lost over half of their wealth overnight, and there was nothing they could do about it. that is a lesson learned and something that's very important, because there's a misunderstanding when we talk about this revaluation that it will somehow solve all of the United States problems. That is not what I am suggesting, and anyone who is suggesting that doesn't understand how bad things really are today and what history shows us about a gold revaluation. Anyone who has gold before the official revaluation happens, they are going to come out the other side better and stronger and in a position of opportunity. But anyone who is not protected with gold, especially if they choose to revalue well over spot price, well, this is going to have significant implications for the dollar. See, right now, the dollar is the global reserve currency, meaning it is really at the center of the entire global monetary system, but its days are numbered. Now, in order to preserve that position of power that the United States has benefited from tremendously, there really can't be any competition. And anytime gold prices start to rise, well, it's typically viewed as a threat to the dollar. It's not in the United States' best interest to have gold prices rise, which is why many have speculated that gold prices have been suppressed for decades. And you might be sitting out there wondering, suppressed? How does that work? Isn't it simple supply and demand? But it's not that simple. The COMEX, the New York Commodity Exchange, and the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, well, they rehypothecate gold, meaning that they can have multiple claims on a single piece of gold, right? All of these paper claims. That makes it seem like there is a far larger supply. If you have 100 claims on one piece of gold, right? A much larger supply of gold, and that the demand is there, but the gold supply is there to match it, when in reality, there's not as much gold as people think. So this whole scheme works totally fine until one day someone demands delivery. And then more people demand delivery. And then suddenly there's not enough gold. This is something we saw last year, right, or at the beginning of this year, when the LBMA effectively had a gold run on their reserves because there was too much demand for delivery. And this is institutional buyers, central banks, and big players we're talking about here who are demanding their physical gold. Why? Why are they doing that? Well, it's twofold, right? One is because they understand that the dollar is in decline and that this is a process that cannot be stopped. Maybe it can be slowed a little, but honestly, if you ask me, it's accelerating, and they understand this. So as the dollar continues to decline, well, what is going to replace it? Historically, we've always said, well, there's no other currency that can replace the dollar, which is still true today, right? There is no other currency that comes close. But as trust in fiat currencies around the world break down, what are nations turning to? They're turning to something they can trust, a physical asset that has withstood the test of time for thousands of years. We are talking about gold. But it has to be physical. It has to be the real deal, because it's always those who control the underlying asset, the true store of value, that are going to be in positions of power and can do whatever they want, whether it's the COMEX and the LBMA potentially manipulating gold prices, or whether it's a nation or a central bank revaluing its gold reserves. The same applies to you out there watching, right? You and I. In our positions, if we don't physically own our own gold, if we just have a paper promise, that promise is only as good as the other person to deliver on it and any intermediary in between, right? It is not a sure thing. And when we are talking about the type of crisis that is coming, that is brewing right now, you want to make sure that you are protected with the sure thing, with a true insurance policy, which, again, in my opinion, is physical gold. But back to the revaluation. Now, many others out there have said, okay, well, 1933 was a long time ago. What about modern day? And guess what? The Federal Reserve is absolutely thinking along the same lines. In fact, they released a research note earlier this year where Germany, Italy, and South Africa were all studied because they have taken the decision to revalue their reserves in recent decades. Why do you think the Fed created this study? Do you think that they're just researching things out here for fun? No, absolutely not. They are actively pursuing the next steps in a gold revaluation and what that will look like for the U.S. And for anyone out there who says, okay, so let's say that the U.S. revalues to spot price. Well, what is that? $1 trillion? It's a drop in the bucket when we're looking at 37 trillion in debt. But any reprieve right now would be helpful. That being said, I mentioned at the start of this video, there are no rules. In fact, most analysts and experts now are saying that if the US is going to do a big swing like this, they probably will go significantly over spot price, right? They're going to get more bang for their buck. But the reality is this is a dangerous move for the US because it again is a direct threat to the dollar. If the United States were to officially revalue its gold, it might buy time, it might help us get out of this debt mess, but at the same time, it's going to cause a lot of questions and concerns around the US fiscal ability. It's going to create volatility, right, in our markets with the Fed. Who knows the implications of this, especially when we're talking about the US versus Germany, Italy, and South Africa. The US is in a unique position, but it is that very unique position, that position of power, that might just let us get away with it once again, right? And if that were to happen, what does that mean for you and your gold and your dollars? Well, again, anyone who's holding gold before the revaluation, they're going to come out the other side on top because it effectively will create a new floor. Let's say that they revalue at 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 an ounce, whatever it might be. That's really going to be the new floor for gold. We know, again, that gold is severely undervalued. Even as it's closing in at 4,000 all-time highs, its value is far greater, which is why central banks are buying it at record quantities. They're buying it like it's cheap because it is. But this move would escalate the global shift away from the dollar and towards gold, meaning that it will further accelerate the de-dollarization efforts by other nations, as well as repositioning gold at the center of the system. But what does that mean for the dollar? Well, it's going to end dollar dominance, which means that we could expect to see rates go sky high. Consumer prices go sky high and our standard of living significantly decline, right? We are talking about inflation, the likes of which we have not seen yet. And again, during this period of time, the only people who are really, truly going to be protected are those who are outside of their system with physical gold. And again, as far as timeline goes, we don't know when this revaluation would take place, but I don't want to leave it to chance, and I would suggest you don't either. Again, in 1933, in the 1970s, you always look back in hindsight and think, I wish I had acted then when I had the chance to. That is what is going on today, right? It is time to make sure you are protected now before this next stage happens, because I don't know how high gold will go, but you want to make sure you're in a position beforehand so you're protected against how low the dollar is going to go, right? Your dollars will be buying far less per dollar. That's how this is going to play out. And if you have any questions about any of this, or you are looking to get protected with physical gold and silver, you can always call us at the number below. You can scan the QR code, or you can click the link in the description. Whatever is easiest for you, talk to one of our expert analysts. They have years of experience in helping people just like you with all of this, preparing for what is coming next with physical gold and silver.
I'm going to stop right there. Just so that you know, people who are on StreamYard, we are on multiple streamers right now. Mr. Thomas, how you doing? He's in the house. All right. So with that, I'm gonna bring us over so y'all can see us. We over here now. We over here, y'all. We out here. All right. So let me get it over here on this screen and see if we can get this bad boy to play out proper. Ooh. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hold on a second. Let me see. Let me see. Trying to get y'all in there. Mr. Thomas, do you see this?
I'm in here.
I know you in here. How you doing, Grand Rising? Welcome, everybody. We are working on building out the show so that you guys can see all the goodies and everything. Right now, it's a world of tech right now, but you can tell from the conversation that we're having, today is the day we need to start waking up. You got to start putting some action in. How many of y'all are on the just barely getting enough money in your back in your pocket type situation? I'm wondering how many of y'all are still feeling like that conversation Mr. Thomas had with the whole you work until you die situation. Crazy, right? Because most of us have been on that road where you're literally working to no end. How does that work, Mr. Thomas?
That is what we dub the 40-year grind. And you work, you save, you work some more, and then when you finally retire, you go back to work because the 50% that you get after retirement doesn't cover your standard means of living, and you be like, wow, I just worked all these years just to tell myself I got to go find another job just so I can break even to be comfortable, or just to it ain't even comfortable. It's more like just to survive. And people are fighting for people are out there looking for survival, and they're ready. People are ready, but they're not ready to get up off what they're used to. People like what they like because they've been trained to be comfortable in this space. And for a while I was comfortable in that same space too. And I'm starting, and I'm pulling out every day. I'm pulling out a little further. And I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I will say that it takes something in you that you really have to have for yourself. No one else can have it for you. And I shared that earlier when I said you're all you really need. You're here already. There's no one coming for you. There's no one to pull you up. Just you. Because actually, in that nature, people can pull you up, but you have to provide the rope, for lack of a better term. You got to provide the rope and be willing to use it. That's where Miss Ruby.
That's what's up. We are so guys, please bear with us. We are on my bad. We are on multiple platforms. We're trying out some new visuals. I'm really digging it. I'll be consulting someone to see, because I know she had her shows on IG and a few others. But at the same time, I want you guys to realize something. Mr. Thomas is so right. People have gotten way too comfortable, and right now, comfort is not the state to be in. If you really want to see your life fruitful, people are like, well, I ain't got no kids, it's just me. My question is how do you want to live? How are you choosing to live? What are you choosing? Because I'm going to be really honest. You get one life to live, and how you do it has to be great. If the world is going to crap during your time, who's going to make the most of it? And when we talk about the world going to crap, it's the economy, the quality of people, relationships, opportunities, all reducing to nothing. I don't have to tell y'all that things are hard, but my question is how hard do you want it to be for you, for how long? And so what we do is we teach. First of all, I love it because what we teach creates peace of mind. If you know what you're doing with your finances, you know that no matter how little bit of money you get, you can do something with it to build it up, to make more. How much of a heart attack are you getting if the boss comes to you and says, yo, money ain't right in the company, and some of y'all either have to get rid of, or we got to give y'all all a pay reduction? That stuff is real, y'all. They'll talk about keeping your job by giving you less pay just so you can have a job. Guys, people who work for Walmart right now get 2 forms when they go to apply. Mr. Thomas, how you doing?
We're doing good over there. I'm sitting there because you said Walmart, and I just had a whole culture shock because I know how they set their employees up to actually be in the space, and I that's no bueno, for lack of a better term. But go ahead, I'm with you. Go ahead.
If you get a job, they substitute an application for your job with an application for food stamps. What do you think you should be doing? Because people who have a job, where most of the people work at Walmart they are on services. Because it's assumed instantly you don't make enough money. That you immediately at the time of getting your job also have to sign up for assistance, because this is not, if this is all you have, it's not instantly already assumed not enough. What kind of nonsense is that? Come on, people. Let's talk about reality. Y'all want to talk about, oh, I work Walmart and I have a gig on the side. My question is how much sleep are you getting? How much quality of life are you putting in? And I love it. My gig society, all y'all that be doing them door dashing, and those people do deliveries and everything, it's time to up the game. It's not about the job, it's about the money. You haven't figured that out. Then you go into the money and you find out it's not about the money, it's about the management of your finances. It all comes back to what you know, changing what it is you're getting out of life. If you get a paycheck and you have to pay your bills, that's it, done deal. You have to start the run, you got to run the game again. But what we learned, and I'm so grateful for having the community that I have, you know, P2G was never meant to be a person or a business or specific. It was meant to be a network of networks, and that has become what it is. It's a place where you find people, friends, organizations, processes, education, and no more asking questions without real answers. Without someone to say, look, ABC, this is how it goes. Open up your phone, let's get started. Open up your tablet, your computer, go download this. Let's get this started. Did you get yours in? Step by step. That's P2G. That's the people in P2G. That's the companies in P2G. That's the educators. All we do is educate y'all. We don't have time. You just was told this. The wealthy are already changing the terrain for you and your family. If gold goes to $50,000 an ounce, as the wealthy are setting up, and silver becomes 2,000, I'm just lowballing it because silver they're looking at 10 grand a coin. We talking the coin, y'all. That's an ounce. All of it. Gold is gold is gold. Silver, silver, silver. As long as it's pure, it's pure. One of the things I learned from my brother from track is that all gold and silver have 24 carats in it. But if it's all 50 grand, tell me now how you gonna get a small piece before it goes up. You guys got to get in the game. You guys got to get started. We use crypto to build assets to get to the gold and silver. Y'all know that. Crypto moves quickly. Learn the moves. Get in here. Get to class. Come to class because I'm going to tell you right now, your time for hating school is over. Your time for hating that, I ain't going back to school. You don't have to go to school, but you still got to learn. You still got to educate yourself. You got to educate yourself to the most important thing. You running around chasing dollars, and dollars, the wealthy don't care about dollars. They use dollars to get assets. I turn my assets, my dollars into assets. We've changed lifestyle. We don't sit around and chill. We got to turn it into assets. We teach our students what's called the asset lifestyle. It's I don't pay my bills. My assets pay my bills. Why? Because why would I use the money I make with a job? I got to do that again. Assets keep churning out money or value. That's why I said come to class. Because you don't know how to teach your children. All you know how to teach your children how to do is what's now dying, which is a dying lifestyle. Get that job. Go to school. Get a good job, right? Tell me about the last good job available and with the education your children are being given to get a really good job. Because without the end result, you get nothing. No financial literacy, you're broke. So the missing is not the money. The missing is financial literacy. And this is the thing you have to give yourself. Forget that you didn't get it. You need it now. You suffering right now. People tell me, oh, Miss Ruby, it's the hardest thing. I'm having such a hard time paying my bills because you don't have no reserves. You ain't got nothing growing on the side. And you know what? That'll keep going on. That practice of not saving money. That right there is why you're poor. You don't know why you're poor. And then you have a good excuse for keeping yourself poor. But you don't understand. I got to pay my bills. And after you pay the bills, what are you going to do? Run back to a job until the day you don't have the job. Then you have nothing. You have nothing to show. Y'all hear this? Y'all identify with this? I have nothing, and I have nothing to show for all that time. I've been there. Y'all make sure y'all download my book because it's coming. I have a book that's coming with my story in it. about how I had to overcome that process, that mentality, that psyche. I got psyched out for almost 40 years from the reality of how money works in this country. And I'm not even in just this country, Mr. Thomas, around the world, correct?
Most definitely around the world. You said it, and you hit it right on the head. But people said, you're gonna work, and you're gonna work, you're gonna like it, and you're gonna spend all your money in the first go round. You know, you're training kids to pay the bills, and I was a part of the world that said you pay your bills first. Yeah, but why haven't you took the time to pay yourself first? You're an expense. You're a chosen expense. You go to work to take care of you. You go to work to take care of your family. You go to work to make sure that you're able to pay those bills. So why aren't you paying you so you continue to? Ms. Ruby said it correctly. Your assets should be paying your assets should be paying for your bills. You should take look. The only way I can say it, and that's how it worked for me. Every time I paid my bill, I was guaranteed to go back to the job. If I used an asset, if I took the money I made, turned it into an asset, and let the asset cover the bill, guess what? I've just doubled my money. Either doubled it or tripled it, or found a way to make it work. So if I need a day off, I'm not losing a day's pay.
You added that to your week.
I've added value to my paycheck. And it didn't require me to do any extra hours away from my family, which takes time. And I was reading something yesterday, and it bothered me because I spent 25 years of my life doing this, and I knew I was doing it, but I didn't pay it any mind because it's what I was doing. I was in the cusp of doing it. I was getting up at 4 o'clock every day, getting dressed, traveling an hour and a half to go to work, working 16 hours, turn around, get back in the vehicle, drive down another hour. Maybe I'll say an hour. I'll say an hour because when I get back, it's like 11 o'clock at night and there isn't as much traffic. So I'll say another hour. So I'm away from the family already 20 and a half hours. 20 and a half hours, you're away from your family. And life has gone on for them. So you got to squeeze their 20 hours into your 1 hour because you have to go back to bed to get up at 4 o'clock to do it all over again. For some of us, it's 5 days doing it. Some of us, it's 6 days doing that. And who do you leave home? You leave home a person who's going to either to be taking care of your children, who has to have a life, who doesn't have a relationship with the person she said she wanted to spend a life with. You know, she's watching him or her go in and out that door, and she sees him for maybe 30 to 45 minutes before he puts his head down or her head down to close. And then if she's lucky, she sees him or her get up to start the process all over again and try to squeeze in everything that's been going on in her day or his day so that they can build a relationship that works. Funny how your employer isn't begging for time. He's got your full undivided attention because you make sure you get up in time, you leave on time, and then you work the whole time that you're there. 18 to 20 hours away from home, giving your blood, sweat, and tears to an employer so that he can take care of his family, so he can spend those 18, 20 hours with them that you're putting in so he don't have to be at the job. Something to think about. If you're at the job, 18 to 20 hours of building finances or building your asset, you can cut them hours down. And I'm complete.
Honey, I'm trying to tell you, I was that one of that. Well, I was that woman. So this man had to go. He had to go. We had to figure it out. Um, Told y'all we've been married for 35, well, 30, sorry, here I go. Oh, good Lord, I ain't that. Oh, yeah. So I've known this man since I was in the cradle. He stole me out. Actually, I've known my husband since I was 19. We got together very early, got together, got married, had children, raised a family, but we went through hell. We had to fight for this marriage, for this life, for this thing that we called together. And it almost didn't actually happen after a while. We separated for a while, didn't we? It's a decision because you begin to discover who you are in your relationship when you got to do it by yourself. All of a sudden, that man he was talking about, I ain't know him. He ain't know me. He'd come home and there'd be a whole culture going on there that he was not a part of. It is not easy to re-immerse yourself into your life. But we ain't even talking about you. Think about the psyche. Today is Mental Wellness Monday. Think about the psyche that gets broken down. This man started creating culture at work. He had work wives and girlfriends, and I don't mean like romantic. I'm talking about people he trusted more than he could depend on more than the woman in his home because he knew them. Ain't that funny? Now, mind you, they all married. They got each other's back. They talking to each other, helping each other, but they can't go home and acclimate because all that we're doing is we're paying for home. We just got to be here. We are here living life to pay for home. Guys, there's something definitely wrong about that mentality. Never wrong about having a job, but when you have more job than life, there is an imbalance that takes you outside of yourself. You are not okay. And it's okay to say you are not okay. And because until we start saying that, and we won't deal with that, it's not okay to be broke. It is terrible being broke and working and doing all the work you do. And so it's terrible not knowing what the hell you're doing with your bills. And how did this month we made the same amount, but we are behind by a higher percentage this next month? What happened? The world shifted and you didn't change your knowledge of how to deal with growth. It's not a bad thing. Everybody keep thinking it's this horrible thing that the world has shifted. Oh my God, Trump this, these people this, that people that, the Republicans this. You want to hear something funny? I go back, I'm big time into music. I love music. And I absolutely love revolution music. But when I'm listening to songs like literally Make You Wanna Holler, Change Gonna Come, all of these songs, I ain't seen nothing change yet. It's the same story. The world has shifted. The wealthy do what they do, and the poor stay poor because of a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding around the money. It ain't never changed. I'm 51. I've seen decades revolve 5 times now, and I've noticed ain't a damn thing changed amongst the haves and the have-nots. The only difference is the knowledge you have and to go ahead to get that done for yourself. I'll tell you right now, I deal with a lot of people. How do you put the keys to wealth in someone's hands and then watch them fumble the ball because they give you all their life experience excuses because they broke? Because broke is a mentality. It's a learned condition. And wealth is one you have to train yourself for. You got to give something for wealth. You got to take, like I said, you got to have some skin in the game. Wealth is a game that's played on the floor. We got to have a mentality for building. Trust is something we've got to learn in our community, to have trust. Trust that you're capable. Most people don't not trust. You know, the funny thing is, most people it's not a problem of trusting others. It's a problem of trusting yourself. You don't even want it. It's so nasty, it's disturbing. It's not a problem of trusting others. It's a problem of trusting your damn self. You've let you down so many times, and yet you let that run in your head over and over. Oh, we can't mess with these people because the last ones, we let them in and they messed up, and we can't do that no more. You got to be kidding me. You'll never move. You can't build that way. Oh my goodness, I invested something and I lost that money, and it almost took me out. I can't believe it. You know why I laugh? Had a friend, a good friend of mine, refused to, didn't want to do the investment program that I was in until he heard me talking to somebody else helping to set it up. Let's talk about this. Okay. See, the problem is when it's somebody else's, when you feel like you're missing out, you want to jump in. So I'm on the phone and he's in the presence and he hears me doing what I do because I invited him. He didn't want to do it. No, I don't think that's in, and this, that, and the other. Fine. So I'm talking with somebody else, helping them set it up, putting things in place with them, not for them, with them. And this gentleman decides, he hears this, like, help me out. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in. A couple of $1,000. Here, take this. I'm like, oh God, are you kidding me? And we have this thing going on where this is a special thing, got to get it in before the time is. People calling me up because my friends rely on me to help them get the, to do what they got to do digitally. I'm a tech, so of course. Now let me tell you something. That brother invested and chose not to take the time to learn how to manage his investment. The company started to go. Everybody was getting emails. I created a training program for people to recuperate their finances and to be able to build it up. That brother showed up to one meeting. He said, he basically set it and forget it. Like, oh, Ruby got it. Unfortunately, when it comes to finances, specifically your finances, no one else has got it, y'all. You give your money, your retirement money, without even touching the damn money you gave. You now automated give a part of your paycheck to somebody to secure your future. And if they don't, they still got paid all the payments of every time they went to work. They got paid to maintain your platform. But you got no guarantees. None. Finally get something you can put in your own hands and you just set it and forget it and leave it on the platform. Then when you're and we are informed that there are changes, check your emails, check your stuff. You don't do that. You get upset. But then when you go and you want to take the money out and we go, you better hurry up. It's the last day. They're getting ready to shut the platform down. What do you mean they're going to shut? I've been telling you for months. You have to handle your stuff. See, the thing about today, technology, no one can steal your money because you got to log in. You have there's stuff that's built into your devices. I always make sure that everyone I share with, if I train you or I teach you, you learn cyber safety and you learn to KYC and then 2FA. These are terms in this process you have to know. In all money processes nowadays, you got to know. You got to know KYC, know your customer, 2FA. That's a two-factor authentication so that at no point does your password open your account by itself. Because if someone gets it, it's game over.
You also have to share with them the term AML.
Well, while you popping in, you might as well go ahead.
When you're managing your when you're managing your account, there's something called the term AML, anti-money laundering. This is where they go back and they check the validity of your account and make sure you're not doing anything deceitful or deceptive. These are terminology. If you go into the financial dictionaries where you can actually get all these abbreviations and you can actually look them up. And you can go to the best one online is Google because it's the fastest. And it'll even give you an example of what you're looking, why the definition is what it is. Any money laundering related to people who were funneling funds from their account from business accounts to private accounts and other illicit activity. That's why that was created. There's also another one that's called I forget what it is, but I believe it has something to do with RICO, which is the racketeering clause, but it had to do with larger sums of money that were going from coast to coast or internationally. And there's another term. When I remember those initials, I'll let you know about it. But that's something you need to look into. And anytime you're managing your money, these are terms you need to make yourself very, very aware of. It has to be like you almost like your second skin. You should be able to say them with your eyes closed because you know exactly what they're for, what they mean. You know? Go ahead, Ruth.
You need to straighten that out. Shut down your camera while you're doing it, because I can already see it falling. All right, guys. Look, let me explain something to you all. Life is not, tech is not hard to understand. Let me remove him for just a second. All right. So let me just try to bring y'all up to up to speed with what's going down. If you don't get if you finally do not start taking time to get financial literacy, you will fall into not just the cracks, the crevice, the valley that is going to be the have and have nots. We already know that there's a drastic difference between the haves and the have nots, and that there is this huge, just this huge gap for technology. The technology gap was my concern. Getting that handled, getting us caught up, getting the people caught up. But I had to start focusing on our quality of life, because we can't just catch up. We've got to move forward. We've got to excel. The numbers, the gap has to be tightened. That whole 100, what it go, the 99 and the 1%. It's time to stop the nonsense, y'all. It's time to stop reckoning like that. Like this is normal. It's not normal. Generational dysfunction is not normal. It never has been. It was never meant to be. And we've had that go on a lot more. That's why all those social programs came from, because there's an imbalance. When you have a lack of knowledge of how to manage resources in a home, you have struggle, strife, depression, as well as abuse. We told y'all September is the what do you call it? It's the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We just came from a warm event, We All Really Matter organization, which is the domestic violence not just awareness, but domestic violence I should say. It's a group that manages the processes. I'm really so very proud of this organization and the woman that creates it. I'm honored to have the opportunity to be on her platform. Mr. Thomas, you have to mute when you come in. Okay. And for my people, we are on several platforms. We are right now, what you're seeing is the back end of us being on StreamYard, which is streaming to multiple platforms, which you're on. Please, by all means, if you're here, hop in, ask questions. This is a place, and this is for everyone, our YouTubers, our Facebook people. This is for everyone. This is a conversation we've got to have, and regularly. You come to Breakfast with the Thomas Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. and you yourselves are going to get fed. We have strategies. Okay? Got it? I want you guys to start realizing the world is a bigger place and you have a better opportunity. You have tech. And if the more strategy you have using your tech to change your life, the easier life becomes. I'm not saying it's about easy. I'm telling you, it's easier to move through life when you have strategy, support, and information. And then you're on smartphones. These things are more powerful than you're giving them credit for. If you're just using it to scroll and not to start building, then you're losing. I have 2 cell phones, a tablet, my computer, all at work right now. And I teach people how to put it to work for them, how to monetize it. I have partners who do the same. We take you to the next level. My goal is to put it in your hands and show you how to mold the clay. They're going to show you how to turn the clay into a masterpiece. And another one is going to come and show you how to monetize the masterpiece. We call that a collective. It's a conglomerate. I need y'all to understand. Life is about building conglomerates. It's about learning how to utilize the resources of others properly, how to communicate in a way that's synergetic. But believe it or not, you've got to be a stable individual for that. You can't play in the play yard with growing people, growing individuals, without being a stable individual yourself. This is why we do Mental Wellness Monday. I got to say it because it gives me a little. We do Mental Wellness Monday because we got to start the week off right, y'all. We want y'all to be not just mellow, but calm. Y'all now have know that there is a chance that stress is not it. We ain't got to end with the stress. This is your opportunity to finally go how ask the right questions. As long as you don't have too much ego, you can have anything you want. As long as you have some humility, you can have whatever you choose. Baby, I'm gonna tell you, it's unlimited. You can learn how to turn these pennies into gold. Because that's what P2G stands for. We don't do that. That's not just a moniker. That's not just a motto. That's a process at P2G. That's a process at the Wealth Conglomerate. That's a process in our lifestyle. That's our life process. We turn pennies into gold because we understand how the banks consider those pennies. How you think they get their gold? They use your pennies. They figured out how to turn your pennies in using international markets to turn your pennies. Now it's time. It's your turn. It's your turn, y'all. Let's go. It's your turn to learn how to flip the game. It's your turn to learn how to take a product that you created and turn it into an international gift. One that pays you consistently. For you guys who are my artists, y'all need to come in because NFTs ain't dead. They have use. Trying to tell you, you missing out. You could do that for yourself. You don't need nobody else to do it. People go, well, I don't understand. That's because you decided that you didn't understand. You get everything you say you do. You are. Mr. Thomas, do we not have total control and power in our lives?
Absolutely, absolutely. You have everything that you had at the palm of your hand. Just reach out. You got, like you said, you got 2 tablets, a phone, computer. It's all there for you. Grand Rising, Miss Shelby, we see you in the space to give you. And one of the things that I really understand, or rather overstand, is the fact that you have to come to the table. You got to come to the table and be ready. You got to be ready for what you say you want. There's no one, I said it before and I'll say it again. There's nobody coming, and unless you fling the rope up to lock in with somebody else who's willing to work with you because you're doing the work. Let me hear it again. Doing the work, not looking at the work, not thinking about the work. I said doing the work. That means that requires you to go out, try something, and if you fall, go back, look at it again, and do it again, and then ask a question to lead you in the right direction. Because maybe you missed something along the way. If you're reading the directions and you're following the way it's done. Because we've been doing this for over 4 years, 5 years in the game, teaching, doing digital financial literacy, doing pennies to gold, doing the 800s Club. And these are all adaptations up to today. These are all adaptations up to today's Breakfast with the Thomases. And we've always been out there saying, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. The question is, are you willing to do it? It's all up to you. We can want, you can want, but you still have to do. You know? And that's what it is really in that show.
Miss, I'm not on and I'm so mad. Miss Shelby, how you doing? It's good to hear. It's good to see your beautiful face. I can't hear her.
18 or yeah.
Okay, Miss Shelby, you're right. 7 years. Wow.
Wow.
14-hour shift. Sorry, I was late today. I worked till 2 this morning.
No worries, my love, more. You get the grind on. As long as that grind relates to you doing your acting game, we have no problem. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Look, I'm trying to bring serious to some folks. I know it's I heard everybody with the thank God it's Friday. Why are you waiting for Friday to live your life? Live it every day. Choose how you live. You got a job. You literally have the foundations to a gold mine. Are you serious? You have a foundation to your complete wealth. You just need some information. I was talking with a sister and she was telling me about how, I need to get off. I hate when people refer to themselves as being on a plantation. That irks me to no end. Why does that irk me? Because you are where you put yourself. You get what you say. You will never get off the plantation as long as you're the one who's talking it into your life. You have a job. It is a foundation for finances. For you to finally get the information and do the right thing by your finances and change the life you live at home. That is all that is for. All your job is there for is to provide you with what you agreed to. Now, what you do with those resources is your business. And I ain't here to tell nobody what to do with their business. I'm just here to tell you that you say you want things, you now have to act on them. You have to take some action. And I'm inviting you in places that you can go get it. P2G Networks is actually a website. If you see my name on Clapper, my name is P2G Networks on Clapper, but y'all know me as Miss Ruby. Yes, and I'm Miss Thomas from Breakfast with the Thomases. Mr. Thomas, you want to say something?
No, I was just agreeing because I was right there with you. I know all the call signs. I'm just smiling because I'm the good one.
Just because y'all with somebody a long time doesn't make it a relationship. You have to build that. I didn't know that marriage was built on the rules you two make, not the world. It doesn't work. The stuff that you hear that you're supposed to and how it doesn't freaking work. As a matter of fact, come and think of it, it's weird, but notice that people's favorite shows are the ones who who create marriage and relationships that go off script. You know what I mean by go off script? That it doesn't quite fit what the people thought it was going to be. Get married, have a child, have a house, a picket fence, and all of that. That's what's supposed to happen. Find a man with a good job. You could be an at-home wife. All these women who want to be these, what do they call them? Trad wives. I applaud you. But I would rather be a scientist and a trad wife at the same time. I would rather be a opera singer and a trad wife at the same time. I would rather have my brain be fully capacitated and be able to manage a home and husband at the same time. Because if you have to reduce your growth process to be something for someone else, it was never going to work out. Trad lifestyles, people talk trad meaning traditional. Really, traditional means storybook, y'all. Made up by Disney. Trust and believe. That storyline was made up by Hollywood, not in real life. People go, well, no, it's biblical. No, it ain't. Don't get it twisted, please. Because those women had a lot of work to do. They didn't sit in the house and sweep no floors and make food. They milked cows. They mowed they did the fields, had large farms and gardens. So you better not talk about how a traditional wife, you want to go back in biblical with me, baby? I'll take you back to biblical. You don't live in biblical times, so you don't know what traditional looks like. So when you're out here trying to promote a lifestyle that's unrealistic because you don't live in those times. You know what a traditional relationship nowadays is? Two household earners, okay, or more, bringing in extended family to consolidate finances because y'all can't live by yourselves. You can't afford to live. It don't make no sense. We call that immigrant living. But those immigrants seem to be the ones getting houses and building businesses and being able to get the hell out and have their own. Not being like the American family where everybody tried to run away and then got to go all back home together.
True statement. True statement.
Let's talk about it, y'all. You live in a real America, not yesterday's America. You live in the world today, not yesterday. You live in the age of technology. You don't live, trust and believe, you ain't an agrarian because you couldn't handle agrarian. Y'all couldn't handle getting up as early as you have to, going to bed as late as you did, and doing all the physical work because there wasn't no fat people living on farms. Everybody on the farm lived on real food they made. Now you got a lot of people who are kind of going back that way, ain't it? Trying to get out of the city life, trying to get away from this. They trying to get back into that. But they ain't calling that trad. They're calling that what, Mr. Thomas?
They're calling that living off the grid, going back to nature, and living in homesteading for natural, for people. And I was going to ask you to explain trad. I'm like, trad, what the hell is trad? And I remember hearing our daughter say that, and I'm like, oh, she has no clue what she really asking for. She had no clue, and I asked her that. She had mentioned one. I can't live like that because I want all the perks, but I don't want all the stuff that comes with it. You can't live one way and not take both sides of the coin. Doesn't work.
Traditional is lock, stock, and barrel. It is not
Yeah.
some or another. That's what traditional means. It's extreme, and no one can live at an extreme, especially in a relationship.
We got Grand Rising to Minister. Enigma, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you in the space. Grand Rising to you on stereo. And I know we got some other people inside YouTube and Clapper coming through. Today's conversation is Mental Wellness Monday, and it's almost at the top of the hour. Wow, we're a little bit over the top of the hour, but it's okay. This is a real down to earth conversation about managing who you are, manage your finances, and your mentality has to be in the same place. Because if you have a mentality that is unbalanced, I'm saying unbalanced, it's kind of hard to manage your funding because you could have an issue. You need balance in your life, no matter what it is. And one of the things that we promote here at P2G is balance all the time. There's a time and a place for everything. And if you don't know, ask somebody and then find some place to write it down and build a life that is well rounded. That's all I ask. Build a life that's well rounded because if you're too much of one thing, you're going to be not enough of the other, and something is going to be lacking. You know, we promote this. We promote balance. We promote mental wellness. And I'm gonna say this to you all, and take it or leave it as you will. There's nothing wrong with talking to somebody, but remember, the person that you're talking to is really you. They're just there to help you guide yourself along the journey. You know? And I'm complete at that point.
No, keep talking. I love it because honestly speaking, he's right. You know, I love my husband, but I know that it's time for us, all of us, to start stepping into our space. You can't go into a relationship and melt in. They don't absorb you. The marriage or the us of it all does not absorb you. You are still there. You have to still be there for yourself. I love my husband, and I tell the ladies, I was like, y'all better get a wallet for yourself. What gets me is that, it was hard for me to take that one of my aunts, we shared. I talked to my family about getting together. She really asked this question. She was like, how can we as a family come together? She's very afraid. I have an elder aunt. And she's elder, it's so weird to say that now. I'll be really on because she's just auntie, you know what I'm saying? But now she's a bit up there and she's married. They have her husband manages their retirements and all of the other stuff funding, and she goes, I told you I don't have money to myself. I have community money, and my finds and all of that stuff is. And I'm like, and I get this. I'm hearing this woman, educated, understand me? Educated, well-rounded. She's clearly she's got the understanding and the mindset for it, but she doesn't have is mental freedom to understand. I asked her a question. I said, don't you have your own, you guys don't give yourself cash to use? See, because this is what happens. We think that you need a lot of money. We start this process with pennies because you got to get out of the fact that it takes anything can be started from, everything starts from a seed, and a seed is not huge. Seeds don't start trees. Trees don't start trees. The seed is the smallest portion, and it has to be grown. It has to be watered, cultivated, so it grows. That is your pennies. That is the pennies. That is the small, that's one, what do we call it? It's a penny out of every dime, a dime out of every dollar. It is your 10% at work for you, because ain't nothing else working for you. Who out here taking care of you? Y'all keep talking about, ain't nobody care about me. You don't care about you. You ain't taking care of you. Why should anybody else? Because they busy taking care of themselves while you got excuses for you. It's time, guys. It's time. I'm sorry. What you expect somebody to do for you? I teach you how to turn your pennies into workers. You're supposed to. It's a biblical process, guys. This is biblical. She trying to get money. Sweetie, you gonna pay me to learn how to take care of yourself. You're damn right. Excuse my language. This is a family show, but you're damn right. Because we're going to go to work. When you're ready to work, we're going to go to work. And what's going to come out of it is peace of mind, financial stability. You're going to feel empowered because you can feel now. Now you know what to do. Now you got something moving. And if you took pennies and can do that, what else could you do? We teach you how not to be greedy. See, because some of us don't realize there's a difference between affluence and greed. Y'all get that? There's a big difference. You grow. We always keep humility. Always. We've never stopped having that. I've never stopped being humble and grateful that I'm getting so much out of life from everywhere I've gone. All the people, I absolutely have fallen in love with all of the life that I've been given. I can. The men, the women who give me, I share their story, share their purpose, then we get to share their story, purpose with people, and I'm sharing and connecting people with other people, and folks are coming in to learn. They're choosing to take on their lives. And if you step up, you're going to fall. So what? Get back up again. It is upon you to get back up again. That's all that's all you got to do is get back up again and stop being afraid of falling down. That's our biggest issue. I can't fall. I got to hold all these things up. Let the damn balls fall. See where they fall and try again. Pick them up. Start again. I hope y'all notice I've not stopped losing money. I can't wait till I lose my first million. Oh, I'm excited. Because that mistake, man, I'm excited. I really can't. Because when it comes, that means that I'm doing way more. Y'all realize that won't be everything. I'll never have to start over because I've done that one time and I've learned lessons from it. So I teach lessons in that. I teach others how to avoid certain falls, but how to get back up when you fall, how to take it to somewhere else and make it back, how to build and never have everything in one pot. You don't follow one thing. You have a beautiful table, a buffet of life. Because I get to eat no matter what. And I had to stop because we was gaining weight. Because we kind of took that to the, I ain't gonna lie, we started getting a little extravagant because I have a thing for lobster. So be careful. Affluence can lead you back to bad habits. My bad habit used to be buying food. I didn't notice that till I started doing my budget. How many of y'all know y'all spend more money in food and entertainment than you probably spend on everything else, including your rent? Those who have a little extra money, there's no such thing. Stop with the bull crap. I'm going to tell you the truth because I'm your sister. There's no such thing as extra money. If money ain't working, then you broke. That's how that works. Just so you know. Mr. Thomas, you can confirm or deny or what have you. It's okay. Let them know. You got extra money?
You ain't say nothing ain't right so far. I'm right in line. And I can't wait to lose my first million either because once you lose that first mill, guess what? You get to make it back. And everything that you did up to that point, now you know you need to change gears, whether it be slow down or speed up. You know at that point where the shift was for the $1 million, you need to change direction or change processes and try something different.
The first
Because
thing.
once you make the million, guess what? You can remake the million.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna be honest. I actually, so I teach cyber safety, and I do look up different stories to help with, to help support our class. And this young man got on as he did a PSA to the community because he's a giver, Mr. Thomas. He's a huge giver. He was saying that he was telling about how he lost $1 million in crypto. He got caught out there. His message was to people, he told his story, and I got to be very honest, that was like tight for me because he's like, I did all my homework. I looked up the company, the website, everything. It looked legit. I was checking them numbers and everything. And these people ran a scam on him, and it was because he joined their meeting. He joined their meeting, and it pulled on his computer. It installed something when he joined their meets or something like that. And it pulled out all the coins out of his wallets of $1 million on his desktop. Guys, we teach y'all not. He's like, I couldn't even, he said, first thing I realized is why did I have that much funds sitting in that in my computer? Ta-da! First thing, first rule. See, that's why you got to come to class. P2G is a platform that teaches a program called the Digital Financial Literacy. It is one that is proprietary to our program. We utilize this to teach people hands-on skills. We take our time with you to make sure that you get the onboarding, the proper onboarding to the system of digital financial literacy, of the digital finance system. And you learn how to research and discover for yourself. But more important, we teach you cyber safety, how to move and what to use, how to protect yourself. And we learn from how to learn from stuff, how to research, how to go before you get in, how to research. I have a lot of people coming to me with different projects. You know that, right, baby? Oh, what do you think about this? You know, my answer is always going to be, what do you think about it? What do you know about it? Because I teach you to know, not to think. Thinking is a process of you creating. What did you learn about that process? Now, what do you think about what you learned? And I hope you understand that is very different. So let's gotta call it a day. Smith shall be on. Tell her I said I love her and thank you so much for being on. I can't see her. I feel so crazy. I'm not on my devices. I have to find my tablet. It's in here somewhere. But let me tell you guys, this is awesome. It is just the beginning. You can have anything you want, but you've got to regulate. Okay, you got to regulate your emotions. Get yourself holistically in sync. Calm down, meditate, get some help, talk to somebody. Figure out why you might psych yourself out of your success. Because I always tell everybody, matter of fact, it's funny because my friend gave me exactly the words to say. He said, the first time it's a mistake. Second time it's a coincidence. The third time, you're the problem. If you have situations with people, places, and things, and it's the first time, it's a mistake. The second time, it's a coincidence. The third time, you are the problem. So you must fix the only thing you can. You got to deal with you. You got to put everything down and deal with your situation. Take care of yourself, your emotional self. If relationships keep getting blown out the water, personal, business, and otherwise, and you're the only one that's there, you have to determine to fix yourself so that you can be able to enter a world healthily with healthy people. Because no one wants to be around an unhealthy person, and no one finances can't grow where you have unfertile soil. You're not fertile. This won't last. It may start, but it will deserve. It'll do exactly what every other seed has tried to do. It tried to grow and plant, but you keep uprooting it because you're not fertile. So we got to get to remember. Start your week off by grounding yourself. Start speaking life into yourself. You got to start with the positive words that represent you. Speak to yourself. Go do the mirror work. Get in the mirror and talk to yourself, because until you see you saying stuff to you, you're taking in everything everybody else says and you're holding that like it's yours. And then you're repeating it to yourself. I am a phenomenal individual on a mission to build a world that not only I want to live in, but even the aliens going to want to be on my planet. That's who I am. Who are you? Who are you? Then we can be something. And Mr. Thomas would go ahead, give me your affirmation today. Yeah, you gotta.
I've been saying my affirmation, man, all day. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough.
That's what's up. That is what's up. And on that note, we are going to complete. We love you so very much, guys. Breakfast with the Thomases is your table. It's our table. You can either drop it, you can put in a link, type in, if some of y'all are on YouTube, interact. We left the board open, okay, so that you can be able to interact with us. I'm actually on YouTube right now. Here I am, watching with someone. If you want to say hi, put it in the chat. You guys, I want you to like and subscribe. This comes on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If we can make it maintain. We're just getting used to the tech around it, and it's starting to work. Starting to see that we've been on this time. Mr. Thomas, you good? All right. So let's get moving. Let them give them some love and let them get going with their day.
According to Miss Shelby, you got the floor.
I was just gonna say earlier when y'all were talking about not being afraid of falling down and stuff. I've had to start over a whole bunch of times, and one thing that Les Brown had said that really helped me this last time was he says that don't be afraid of falling. If you fall, just fall on your back, because if you can look up, then you can get up. So just make sure that you don't fall on your face. Just fall on your back. That way you can get right back up. And then I do an affirmation, but it's not just one. I just say I am strong, I am enough, I am loved, and I am determined and resilient.
That's powerful, young lady. Powerful.
Love you, sis.
Give them love. We're about to transition from point A to point B.
So peace, love, and light. Y'all have a great day.
You too, Shelby. Get some rest.
Back to you too, sis. All right. And with everybody want to have a wonderful day, reach out to P2G Network on YouTube. Check out the replay. You're here doing our thing. For those who are on Clapper, you get a better visual on P2G Network's TV on YouTube. So you can see the whole show as it went through. Have a wonderful day, Mr. Thomas. You need to wake up. You got to have some coffee in the morning because you sleepy. You got to get his sleepy self off that screen.
I'm actually good. I'm just like, I'm waiting because it's like, this technology is really doing me in this morning. But I'm not even opposed to it. I'm actually glad we got the technology working it out. So, like, I'm going to say to you guys, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I will see you back here on Wednesday. Work it out Wednesday.
And I'm talking to myself. I'm over here talking to myself. Apologies. This technology is insane. I want to say thank you so much to everybody who for giving love, giving diamonds. On our Clapper platform, we get diamonds. And actually, we don't ask for them. We don't want people to pay us for this information because this is us paying it forward. And it's amazing to see that people love you so much that they will extend even any finances to you. I thank you for being on with Breakfast with the Thomases. I hope that you guys have value in this. We want you to keep coming. We don't care about the diamonds. We don't really care about all the extras. I want you to give likes, make this platform strong enough to be able to build for your families because we are not going anywhere. We need each other. We need this. The people need this. And as long as the people need this, I ain't going nowhere. God gave me life and this tech, and we want to see us somehow. And even if we can't be on this platform, guess what? We'll invite you to the next one because there will be another location. Peace and love, everybody. See you later. Thank you so much. Bye, baby.